Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another horror movie review. Didn't say classic review, as you can tell by the thumbnail. This is a newer film. And those of you that know me, you know that I'm all about classic movies on this channel. But given that we have a new addition to the Halloween franchise, and it's a franchise that I love, I couldn't help myself. I got to give you guys my thoughts on this movie because there is a lot to go into. And I am a really big fan of this series. I love the original film from John Carpenter, the 1978 classic. So expect a review of that movie around the end of this month. So as we get deeper into October, I will continue on with the classic horror movie reviews. But this is my review, spoiler review, for Halloween Ends. So let's do it. So this is the third and final film in the David Gordon Green Blumhouse Halloween quadrilogy. Not a trilogy because technically they connect to the 1978 film, even though it's David Gordon Green's trilogy, but y'all know what I mean. It's really, in this timeline, it's 4 movies, right? Since they omit all the sequels. But really cool that you can tell these guys are huge fans since there's all kinds of Easter eggs and winks and nods to a lot of the sequels all throughout this trilogy. And one of my favorite Easter eggs is actually in the beginning of this film, where you have the movie opening about a year after the events of the last film and the events of 2018. And you got this guy played by Rowan Campbell by the name of Corey, who I think is actually very good in this movie. And Corey is babysitting a young boy on Halloween night, and they're watching The Thing, the 1982 John Carpenter remake. And for anybody that knows Halloween, you all remember the original 50s version of The Thing on the TV back when, Laurie's babysitting young Tommy Doyle and young Lindsay Wallace. So that's a really nice little nugget of an Easter egg for fans, I thought. And really great opening because in the very short time that we get to meet Corey before things go to hell in this scene, we find out a lot about this guy in a very simple gesture when he grabs milk in the fridge instead of a beer. And considering this is a teenage guy all alone in a house with no supervision, you learn a lot about his stance on, good and bad and right and wrong right there. You can tell this guy does have a sense of morality. And so really cool character choice there. And so this young kid is really busting his balls, giving him a hard time, doesn't want to go to bed, and starts playing hide and seek. And Corey goes into a room, and the kid locks the door behind him. And the parents are on their way and about to come in the house as Corey is going crazy because the kid isn't letting him out. And I don't know if Corey has something about being locked in a room. I would have just, I don't know, just chilled there till the parents got home and just blamed the kid if that was me. But not everybody has common sense. So Corey gets a little anxious and a little frustrated and starts screaming, starts yelling, and he busts the door open right when the parents walk in the house. And that's when you see a body, a small body, because it is the young boy, just boom on the ground. And the way it looked, the way his head did this sort of up and down motion, like really, really fast, like it just bounced for a second, that looked insane. And yeah, my jaw was on the ground. So right then and there, this movie had me. But not for long. Not for long. This was the most suspenseful moment in the film. And unfortunately, it was the only real suspenseful moment in the film. So now we have another time jump after this. A few years pass. Corey has begun to become kind of a town joke, and people just sort of talking about him behind his back. Everybody thinks he's some kind of a child killer that got away with the murder of the young boy, even though it was a complete accident. And so he's pretty much trying to live his life, but can't escape the town bullies. And the town bullies in this movie are very, very generic. These are like the bullies that you've seen in every other Stephen King horror movie. So these bullies assault Corey, and who comes to his rescue but none other than Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode herself. And that's when these two meet and spark up a small friendship. and Laurie wants to introduce him to her granddaughter, which she does. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis is excellent in this film, though it's not my favorite interpretation of Laurie. I think that has to be Halloween 20 years later. I do give credit where credit's due. Out of these three movies, this is her best turn in the part, and she really sold me on this character this time around, a lot more than the last time around, because in Halloween Kills, she really felt more like a caricature of her Laurie Strode character. So, yeah, back to basics in this film, because she actually feels more fleshed out of a human being, because the dialogue is a little better this time around. There's no evil dies tonight in this movie, though I admit it was kind of missing some evil dies tonight. Nah, kidding, kidding, kidding. Uh, all right, so yeah, okay. Also, Andy Matichuk is in this movie, of course, and playing the granddaughter once again. Now, after they meet her character and the Corey character, they fall in love, and this is where the movie really hits a stone wall, as far as I'm concerned, because this movie was marketed as the big final hurrah, the big mano a mano between Laurie and Michael. And all we get is like a short fight at the end of the movie that feels very much like an afterthought. They actually make Michael Myers a side character in this movie, in his own finale movie, which to me is a big no-no. Not only that, even Jamie Lee Curtis gets less screen time, and it really feels like Corey is pushed up to the forefront of this movie. And even though I do admit Rowan Campbell does a good job in the part, where his story ends up at the end of this movie, ultimately it doesn't really go anywhere, because even though I do like the way he was used at times in terms of the team up with Michael, and that scene with him teaming up with Michael to kill some people, that was actually cool. That was exciting to see, because that was something that we've never seen before. But one thing that wasn't all that great was how weak Michael was in this movie. For the final movie, it was just sad, because it's such a contrast to how he was just unstoppable in the previous film. And so here we got this Michael Myers that is vulnerable and like wounded and still suffering from all the shit that happened to him at the end of the last film. And so, yeah, hiding in this little tube under some bridge or something the last few years, which also is pretty unbelievable considering it's been like 3 or 4 years, and he's hiding under like a small underpass and nobody except some homeless guy knows he's there. Kind of a stretch, I think. And, the transference of evil from Michael to Corey, that's not a new idea. That's something that was done pretty well, I think, in Halloween 4. In Halloween 5, they completely ignored what they did there. And they bring that back in a way with this film, but they use it in a different way. They don't make Corey like somebody that has psychic visions and can see what Michael sees, like what they did with Halloween 5. Halloween 5 sucks, by the way. But they do something that harkens back to that idea. And so I appreciated that they decided to try something pretty far out like that. But the fact that they ended up killing off the Corey character, it had no payoff. They did such a great job setting him up to be the next Michael. And to be honest, I was kind of going along with it. Even though it pissed me off that Michael got sidelined, I was rooting for Corey. And then Michael kills Corey, and it's like, what the hell? So, yeah, that was his arc. But, some people are going to like this because it's different, it's fresh, it's not the same old thing, and I can appreciate that. But this was the final film. If you want to try something like this, don't do it in a movie where you're going to advertise it's the big send-off, the big goodbye, because this is not the way we want to say goodbye. We don't want to see Michael like some cowarding little animal that's just like beaten up and has his pride all hurt, and some guy that's smaller than him, younger than him, can throw him down and take his mask and just punk Michael Myers. I mean, come on. This is the kind of thing that pisses off the fans. So even though I did enjoy the movie while I was watching it, this isn't going to be for me later on down the line. I'm sorry to say. And, it's fine. We have lots of movies. We have some really good Halloween movies in this franchise. So, no big deal. But it is a shame and a disappointment either way. And so, yeah, this is a 2-star movie in my book. And I hope that some people can find enjoyment with it, because a lot of people didn't like Halloween 3 at first. And who knows, maybe later on down the line I'll feel differently. But right now, very disappointed. Though I do got to say, it was cool to see the way Michael was taken out. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, you killed Michael, how dare you. Nah, fuck it, he's the bad guy, he's the villain. That's what I expect. But it just wasn't earned. It wasn't earned at all. So, yeah, sucks. But, oh well. So, yeah, that's my review for Halloween Ends. That'll do it for now. Thank you very much for checking this out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and comment on your favorite film of this series. And if you like this film, what did you think about it? If not, why? And go ahead and let me know in the comment section. So thank you very much for hanging out for a little bit, and look out for the next classic movie review. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Take care.